P1-15 has similar geometry to 1-7, and we'll probably take the same create the boss and then do cut extrudes for the hole locations. The table that goes with the hole definitions, all of these are 10 millimeters in size, and so we're looking for an X location and a Y location. So when you see the ordinate dimensions, it's coming off of this corner, so that's a good place to start with the origin, kind of help keep track of our geometry. So fly that out of the way, and we're going to be in metric, so I will open metric this time and go to the front plane, left click on the front plane, open the sketch, and let's go with the click. All right, so about 34, again, I'm not going to try and get that exactly 37.2. Yeah, it's just not worth it. So we're going to get them close, create our angles, and then as soon as we start going away from vertical horizontal, we want to pay a little more attention. Let me zoom up on that a little bit with the scroll wheel mouse. We want to pay attention to what's being added. So here is a situation where I've semi-located the midpoint of that horizontal line. It's showing me a vertical relation, but it's in white. And that's telling me that I would be vertical, but I would have to apply that manually if I wanted it to stay. So we'll go that way. The inference lines, the yellow is showing me where the perpendicular, the collinear, perpendicular, collinear are going to come into play. Horizontal is going to be applied in this case, and the vertical line next to it says that I'm lined up with the lower vertical line, but it's not going to give me that relation. So we click and another angle, and this is the one that now is also going to include parallel. All right, so again, the orange is telling me that is the object it will be parallel to. Don't really want that. We have the vertical, the horizontal. Let's see, not really picking up anything else. So really the parallel, and probably would get a perpendicular. There we go. If I came across that far. So doesn't look like it's picking it up that way, but we'll try to stay away from the parallel and the perpendicular. So just as an example, I would normally click out here, but just as an example, I'm going to go ahead and click and we can see what happens. And a lot of times we're clicking through and you're not even really going to catch or pay attention that it it added that relation for you. All right, the other thing of visual clue is we have the shaded sketch contours turned on. So if this turns gray, we don't have any gaps. If there is a little bit of an overlap, if we extended this line maybe a little bit further, it should still go to gray, but it has a slightly different extrusion with the contour and region. So you just want to be aware of and try to be precise attaching those points. All right, so for our main dimensions here, we're going to go 37.28, 32.47. We have an angle of 28.81, so I'm going to go any two non-parallel lines are going to generate an angle. And if we go adjacent, I don't remember all the terminology. We want to be on the included angle here, so we'll go with the 28.81 and put that in place. All right, so the 236, since we're talking about the angles, and I grabbed the midpoint, so escape. And we'll go 236, and it's telling me I'll make this dimension driven. So notice that if I drag that out of the way, it's showing me the horizontal, and the parallel. And the parallels are the ones that are creating the problem. So if I just cancel out of that, we have the options. I identified them from the amber. There's a problem showing up. We can click on the box and hit delete on the keyboard, or I think I Control Z that, or picking on the line shows us the existing relation, or we have enough of them that we're having to diagnose it. We'll go back to the display delete relations and look down through here and say, oh, there's a perpendicular that I didn't want to be there, or a parallel I didn't want to be there, and we can highlight it and hit delete. Once we accept one of those and remove, then we're looking for that full angle to go 236.99 and accept. So the next will be the 21.93. And then kind of just coming around, you can add these in any order. So 28.67. As long as my fingers don't start putting in other numbers, I should be in pretty good shape here. 60.74. Oh, that was the wrong one. So here's a place where I needed that dimension to go there, but we can just double click again and go 40 and pick the two objects that I did want to go to 60.74. All right, the 40 millimeters will go from base, and still having a lot of luck getting those midpoints. So escape, and as long as I don't escape too many times, it will stay in the dimension command. If it kicks me out, then we'll figure out which way that's going. All right. So okay, I missed that one again. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete that dimension, and we'll go to the 19.3, and then we'll go to 40. And the overall, have we built up enough? Then we need to come back to 94.51. All right, so as far as the order, okay, we have one more. So the blue line tells me that I'm not quite fully defined, and I still managed to get something going here. So 40, the 60.74, 18.3. Okay, so still having fun with the dimensions. Let's go ahead and take that one away. Go back into the smart dimension and go to 60.74. All right, so reading the prints, a lot of dimensions. That looks like it now. So take your time. Process of elimination. If you add it to the wrong one, we're going to delete that dimension and then reapply it. So our thickness is 20. I do prefer it to go the opposite way, so I'm going to reverse the direction and then tell it 20 millimeters. All right, let it catch up, make sure I clicked. Open up the sketch and draw the circle. So I can draw, what do we have, 7, looks like 7 circles. Let's go ahead and apply the 10 millimeters. And I can also use the Windows Control C, Control V. So if I do Control Z, or sorry, Control C is in cat, Control C, and then Control V is in Victor, and wherever I click and Control V, I'm going to get another circle. Or if I had more, possibly a group of circles. All right, so those all look pretty good. Okay, so from the dimensioning standpoint, let's go back over and we're given our table. if I wanted to generate this as an ordinate, we have that option in our dimensions. So we need the drawing. So A1, in my order, A1, A2, A3. Okay, so under the dimensions, we have all of these other styles of dimension, and I usually just go to ordinate dimension, and we're going to pick the x values. All right, so the first x value will be for A1, and it's not asking me, these are just where they are in location, so if we go through and pick those, we're going to have to identify them later. So let's get all of those in place and then select. So maybe a little more complicated to do the ordinates and keep track of. So 1.22, A2 was 10.27. Those were really close together though. Right. And then double check, A3 was this lower, and it is 15. And notice it's giving me the visual clues of the center is highlighting, and it's giving me at least some indication of which ones we're working on. So A4 is kind of in the middle, so that one is 32.38. And then A5 should be the lower, so as I look at that extension line and it highlights, A5, 38.51. And we got these kind of crossed over, but we will get those sorted out. So A6, 46.5. And since A7 is also 46.5, we could probably just delete that one. And we'll go make those vertical. All right, so in contrast, I would, staying with this, we also have in the tools, see if I can find it, the display option. Let's rejog the ordinate. That's going to line everything up, clean it up a little bit. In contrast, well, let's do this. I would go to the ordinate dimension, pick the base, and then go through all of these again. In contrast, if I end up with my my y dimensions, okay, so A1 57.14, A2 was 84.04, and A3 was 25. All right, so we're entering those values as we go, but maybe a little more involved. So let's go, A4 was in the middle, at least I'm pretty sure, 75.51. That one jumped up a little bit, A4. A5 is the 25. All right, so those could have been horizontal. And then A6 goes to 52.61, and A7 101.88. Now you could draw one circle and fully dimension it, and then go through the group that way. If you can keep track, and yeah, my ordinance got a little weird there. So once again, I want to window pick all of my geometry, and then I'm going to recognize the equal, and did it apply it? Okay, so everything turned to fully defined, and we're going to do an extrude cut, go through all, and accept. We'll save this and finish up with P1-15.